Hi Yarny friends! Today we are going to be making a super simple, super easy, beginner level pot holder. Okay, let's get started. Now the yarn I am going to use is Premier Just Cotton. You can get this at Dollar Tree. It's $1.25. It used to be only $1, but now it's $1.25. There are 104 yards in this. It is 85% cotton, 15% polyester, and this number right here is super important. It's a 4-weight, and this is a basic, I call it kitchen type cotton, because this is great for making pot holders, dish rags, things like that. Okay, and the hook I am using is a 5mm, I don't know if you guys can see that real well, 5mm Furls hook. If you are the kind of person who loves sparkles, go check out these hooks. Furls has more sparkle hooks, and they are amazing to use. They're very ergonomically shaped. I will put a link down in the description so that you can go take a look at them. Okay, let's get this pot holder party started. I am going to wrap that. This is the yarn that is wrapping around the outside. I really want to get that inside yarn, and sometimes you have to kind of hunt for it. I can't see it, so I'm going to grab and hope. Oh, no, maybe, hold on, let's try this side. Sometimes it'll show a little, you know, a little bit of it peeking up, but it's not today. So we're gonna, oh my gosh. Okay, we're grabbing and hoping today isn't. Okay, well, I only pulled that much out. Let's see if we can find the end without undoing this whole thing. Oh, there we go, it's getting smaller. Maybe I'm just going to have to unravel the whole thing. Okay, so with this pot holder, what you are going to do is get your crochet hook and your yarn, make a slip knot right here, and then chain 30. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, whoops, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. And because we are going to be going into that second chain from the hook when we start making our single crochets, I'm going to chain one more for a total of 31. Okay, there's your starting chain. I'm gonna raise this up just a little. Okay, now on the first row, we're going to insert your hook into that first or second chain from the hook, yarn over, pull through, and you'll have 2 loops on the hook, yarn over, and pull through those 2. Easy peasy. That is the single crochet stitch. Now you're going to single crochet, just like I did right there, into every chain going down the row here, And at the end, you will have a total of 30 chain, or I'm sorry, you'll have a total of 30 single crochets. Oops, and I don't know if you can see on this yarn is a little splitty, meaning that these little things right here kind of come apart. Just watch out for that. Make sure that you're not crocheting in between the two different, you know, like right in the middle of your yarn. Make sure you're getting that whole yarn strand every time you insert your hook. You can also find yarn that is not this splitty. The Dollar Tree cotton is a little splitty because, I don't know why, because it's just the way it's made. But there are other yarns such as Hobby Lobby, I Love This Cotton, or what's another one? Peaches and Cream that you can get at Walmart. Sugar and Cream that you can get at, I believe it's Joann. They are not nearly as splitty. And also, if you're wondering why I'm using cotton, it's because cotton is absorbent and it's a natural fiber, so that it's not as likely to melt. Oops. Okay, now we're at the end of the first row, and we're going to chain one, turn your pot holder, or you know, the start of your pot holder, and we are going to single crochet into every single crochet from row 1. So at the end of this row, you will also have 30 single crochets. So here we go. Just go right into those top 2 stitches. See how they make they look like a little heart or a little V shape. Insert your hook, wrap your yarn around your hook, pull through, yarn over, pull through. It's the same as we crocheted on the chain, except we're just going under those 2 loops right there that make the top of the single crochet. And now we're going to single crochet the rest of the way down. And this looks like it's about 8 inches. If you want to make yours a little smaller, use fewer stitches. If you want to make it bigger, use more stitches. It just really depends on the size that you want to make. But if you're using an H hook and a 4-weight cotton yarn, this should be about 8 inches, or at least it is by the way I crochet. Like if you wanted, this has 35 stitches across, but if you wanted to change your, I'm sorry, this has 30 stitches across. If you wanted to make it smaller, you could make 25 stitches across. And remember, you always want to add that extra chain on the bottom. So if you wanted to have 25 single crochets across the bottom, you would chain 26. Because remember, you're going to skip that first chain when you are starting that very first row, and you're going to single crochet into that second chain from the hook. Okay, we are at the end of row 2. We're going to chain 1, flip our potholder over, and this is what it looks like. Now we're just going to repeat that second row 28 more times. And 28, what it is it's, if it's 30 stitches across with a single crochet, it should be 30 rows long. That should make a square. Sometimes it doesn't, sometimes, you know, it just depends on how you crochet, how tightly you crochet your yarn, or how loosely you hold your hook. It can vary, so just stop crocheting, stop adding new rows as soon as your potholder is square, which should be right around 30 rows. So if you just like to play on the safe side, just make 30 rows. That should work out well. Okay, I do want to show you one thing before I stop this video. I want to show you what it looks like from the front and the back of your potholder. I'm really liking the way this pink yarn looks with this sparkly crochet hook. This is a Furls Streamline resin crochet hook. And I would have to say Furls by far are my favorite hooks. And that's the wonderful thing about crochet, is there are so many different kinds of hooks, so many different kinds of yarn that you can experiment and play around and see which ones you like the best. I had never tried a Furls till a couple of years ago, and now that I have, like, I cannot stop getting them because I love them so much. Okay, so this is with 3 rows, and you see right there how it kind of looks like like it's a separate row. Well, it is, but this one down here is 2 rows. Like if I flip it over, you can kind of see, it's hard to see the separation on the first couple of rows, but you'll see it when you have completed a few rows. I might get back on here in just a couple of minutes after I make a few more rows and show you what it looks like. Okay, here we go. We have got 30 stitches across and 30 rows and 30 rows up. So we have a 30 by 30 row by 30 stitch piece of wonderfulness. Okay, so this is what I was telling you about, what it looks like on the front, and then it looks exactly the same on the back. And each one of these little stripes right here is 2 rows. And that's what it looks like. So the next thing we're going to do is chain 20. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. And you know what? I think that may be a little too long. Oops. Because what we're trying to make here is a thing to hang your pot holder up with by your stove. Let's take 5 stitches out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, there's 15. 15 looks about the right size. Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to go into this stitch right here, just the side of it, and we're going to be crocheting up the side right here and putting 1 stitch, oops, I'm putting 1 stitch per row. So there should be 30 stitches along the side. So that's why we are, whoops, got it a little mixed up here. So that's why we are going into this first stitch right along the side of it and single crochet 1. Now the next place we're going to go is in here, and see how it kind of looks on the side. We're going to go into right into that spot, and there are 2 stitches, and we just crocheted into 2 rows. I don't know if you can see it, but see, for this row right here we put 2 stitches. And so you'll be able to recognize where you put each of your stitches because they're all the same going down. So this next stitch will go into the spot that looks like that, right into the side of a stitch. And the next stitch will be right there. And so when you, there's 4 stitches. So when you look down the rows here, will go 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So you can visually see where you're putting your next stitches. But I will crochet down this whole row just so you can see how I do it. And this cleans up that edge and makes it look nice and straight and finished. Okay, so we're getting to the end here. And let's count how many we have. We want to make sure, and we're going to crochet into that last stitch. We're going to make sure we have 30. And don't worry if it looks a little ruffly or whatever. That's okay. As long as you put the 30 stitches evenly, 2 single crochets per row at the very end, you'll be fine. Okay, so we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. Okay, now when we turn the corner, we've got our 30 stitches down this side. We're going to chain 2 right there at the edge. And then on the bottom here, we're going to put 30 across, and you want to make sure to make 1 stitch per 1 stitch. It's kind of hard because they're upside down, but you basically just go into your other chain that you did not crochet into when we were making that very first row. Okay, so let's go along the bottom here. We're going to put it into, see, that's the very first stitch on that row. So there's 1, and see, that made a nice corner, chaining those 2 stitches. So 1, 2, I'm putting it right in there. See how that's the bottom of the stitch for this row? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, and 30. And once you get to the end, that's what your pot holder is looking like so far. We've got 2 sides done. Now you're going to chain 2 again. And now you can do a couple of things with this little piece right here. What I like to do is crochet it underneath the stitches I'm making. So I'll show you what I mean. At least for a couple of inches, then I can pull it out and just cut it off when we're done. Now we're going to be going in the sides 2 stitches per one of these stripes, or 1 stitch per row. Remember, this is 2 rows. And this is what it looks like where I'm going to be putting inserting the hook. So I insert the hook right there, and I'm going to put this end right here, right underneath here. And so I'm going to carry it right along with the pot holder, run it along the side of the pot holder, and just crochet that under with my stitch so that I don't have to weave it in the end. So there's one. And then you can see how it makes like a little hole along the side. So there's one, and I put it in kind of along the row where these little bumps are. And then two. That one's going right here where you can see the division of the two rows. And then on the back side of it, see this one with the little bumps? Looks just like this on the back side of it. So that's how you can tell you're crocheting into each row. So there's three, and you see we're carrying this right underneath. Or if you don't want to worry with this, just leave it out and you can weave it in the end. Okay, so, oops, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I'm just going to go ahead, let that go out behind like that, and then I'm just going to cut it off because it's already woven in enough. So how many did I say we had here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, and then 30 is going to be in this see the very first stitch of that row, we're going to put 30 right there. So there's the last stitch. Now we're going to, oops, sorry about that. I have my window open and there's some vehicles outside. Okay, so there's 30, and then we're going to chain 2, and then into the top of that same stitch, we're going to just crochet all the way across. So there's 1, and we're going to crochet all the way across, and at the end we'll have 30 stitches. Okay, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. Okay, now to finish off this little loop, we are going to single crochet into every one of these chains of this loop, and there were 15, I believe. So here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15. Okay, now we just slip stitch into that very first stitch that we did going down the side. Just slip stitch right in there, or you know, you can slip stitch a couple. And slip stitch. I slip stitch 2 just to make sure it's on there. Right, now let me find some scissors. Okay, we'll cut that off and tie this off. And then you're gonna weave in your ends, but we're gonna pretend like I'm weaving in that end right there. Weave in your ends, and you can do it with your crochet hook. I usually do it with some tapestry needles, but you just kind of, especially with single crochet, it's really easy. You just pull it through a few of those back posts, the post of the back of the crochet stitch. Go like that, maybe 4 or 5 stitches down. I'd go 5 stitches. Just like that. You want to make sure that that yarn is tucked back behind that so you can't see it. And I'm going to do one more, so that's, I'm going back behind stitch 6. It doesn't really matter how many go through. And then I'm going to come back this way, and I'm going to go right in between those 2 stitches right there, just go under one stitch like that. And then I'm going to pass right back through those same stitches. Get right underneath there and pull it through there. Turn it around this way and pull it back through one more time. There we go. Woven through, you can't see it. Snip it off right there. And voila! You have got, here, let me raise this up a little more. Let me raise it up. You have got a beautiful pot holder to use or to give to your mom or grandma or best friend or sister. And oops, and remember, this is going to shrink when you wash it. So, and this is how big my hand is. So see, perfect size for a pot holder. It will cover your whole hand and your hand will not get burnt. And we still have a little bit of the yarn left. Remember, this was 104 yards, I believe. So it looks like we've used about 3/4 of it. You could always add, if you want to, add another row around here. Remember, you can make your pot holder shorter. You can make it longer. Oops, what's that? Oh, that's. So anyway, there you go. You have a brand new homemade pot holder. All right, thank you so much for crocheting along with me. And don't forget to hit that like button if you love this tutorial. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell so you never miss a single tutorial. See you later. Love you guys. Bye.